I have some huge updates. I just did a segment. I know I'm coming out with the second one, but things are rapidly developing in what we know about the attempted assassination at the golf course of Donald Trump. I told you in the last segment that this has been classified as, just recently, an attempted assassination. CNN reports that the FBI said Sunday it is investigating what appears to be an attempted assassination of former President Trump, and I'll show you the press conference clips from it where the sheriff updated the public about what took place. The Trump campaign said earlier Sunday that the former president is safe following gunshots in his vicinity. So from what I understand, initially, it was there's gunshots in the vicinity. We don't even know, was it directed Trump, right? Just somewhere in the golf course. Then more information has come out, and this does appear to be an attempt on Trump's life. But it also, in this case, seems the Secret Service more effectively stopped it before even any shots were fired by the shooter, and the shots that initially led to the reporting about a shooting seem to have been from Secret Service. I'll continue to update you if any of those details change. But again, a Secret Service agent was walking, I think they said a hole or two ahead, as they'll do, to see if everything's okay, and they spotted a guy in the bushes in the shrubbery, and they could see his gun, and then shots obviously were fired. And then the shooting at the shooter by Secret Service prompted the shooter to run away, get into an SUV, and drive off. Then law enforcement have detained the suspect since then. They did track down that car. A witness reportedly took a photo of the car. That made it a lot easier and was able to identify the shooter that they saw running away after Secret Service shot at this shooter. With that being said, you have Sheriff Rick Bradshaw giving this update to the public.
1:30 this afternoon, call came out, shots fired. That was called in by the Secret Service. Because we're in constant contact with them all the time, we were notified of that, and we had units here that immediately sealed off the area. Fortunately, we were able to locate a witness that came to us and said, hey, I saw the guy running out of the bushes. He jumped into a black Nissan, and I took a picture of the vehicle and the tag, which was great. So we had that information. Our real-time crime center put it out to the license plate readers. And we were able to get a hit on that vehicle on I-95 as it was headed into Martin County. We got a hold of Martin County Sheriff's Office, alerted them, and they spotted the vehicle and pulled it over and detained the guy. After that, we took the witness that witnessed the incident, flew him up there, and he identified as the person that he saw running out of the bushes and jumped into the car. Now, in the bushes where this guy was is a AK-47 style rifle with a scope, 2 backpacks which were hung on the fence that had ceramic tile in them, and a GoPro, which he was going to take pictures of. So those are being processed right now. The Secret Service.
I'll stop it there and then continue to play some shocking stuff. Clearly a lot of premeditation with the type of stuff that he had on him, including, and this is pretty disturbing, a GoPro, I guess intending on filming the actions he was planning on taking. Credit, based on what we know so far, to the Secret Service agent who was able to stop it before it even really ever started. And one of the things I mentioned to you in the last segment was that immediately when Trump was shot in Butler, Pennsylvania, there was an understanding that something had to go wrong. We're yet to know if there were failures or if this is the protocol, that this would be about when Secret Service should spot a threat, or was it another case where the threat got too close? Again, we're learning about that all as things go along.
Service agent that was on the course did a fantastic job. What they do is they have an agent that jumps one hole ahead of time to where the president was at. And he was able to spot this rifle barrel sticking out of the fence and immediately engage that individual, at which time the individual took off. So that's what we know about the investigation. We have somebody in custody right now that is a potential suspect. We got a little bit more work to do on it, but as we usually do, As soon as we decide that we're going to book him into the county jail and the charges that he's going to be booked into, we'll get those to you and we'll get a picture of him and we'll get you his background.
If you haven't already and want to support us on our race to 1 million subscribers, you can do it by clicking that subscribe button below. Easy, free, simple. It makes all the difference. Back to the video.
So now I'm going to turn it over to the representative of the Secret Service, and he's going to make a brief statement.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I first want to thank all of our law enforcement partners, to include the Palm Beach Sheriff's Office and the Martin County Sheriff's Office, for their involvement today. Former President Donald Trump is safe and unharmed following a protective incident shortly before 2 p.m. on Sunday at Trump International Golf Club at West Palm Beach.
Now, we will get back to this individual's statement. I do want to first take a break from it to read to you Trump's running mate J.D. Vance's statement saying, "I'm glad President Trump is safe. I spoke to him before the news was public, and he was amazingly in good spirit. Still much we don't know, but I'll be hugging my kids extra tight tonight and saying a prayer of gratitude." So that, as I told you in the last segment, comes in stark contrast to a statement that we've heard from someone like Marjorie Taylor Greene, already sort of starting to use the "they tried to steal the election, now they tried to kill him," that "they" term that really does not meet the moment and does not stick to an accurate interpretation of the facts. Let's wait. Let's just wait. Be level-headed. Set aside politics for a moment. We should all be opposed to violence or attempts at violence. And then in the case of those, quote-unquote, on Trump's side, I really do ask that they don't jump to those conclusions or try to exacerbate some of these different theories. I mean by that, let's see, Marjorie Taylor Greene has since posted they want video of President Trump being assassinated so bad that the would-be assassin had a GoPro to film it. This comes after Thomas Crooks tried to kill him at a rally while the world was watching. Who would receive the video feed from today's assassin's GoPro? These are not lone wolves. There's a conspiracy to murder Donald Trump. That type of stuff it's just not helpful. It's not accurate. It's not level-headed. And the fact that that would be getting thrown in so early to this conversation, conspiracy theories about this being a plot by the they she's referring to, we know, is the left and Democrats, and it's not helpful. I do want to play for you this as well.
How far away was the president? How far away was Donald Trump when this gentleman was caught and stopped?
Probably between 300 and 500 yards, but with a rifle and a scope like that, that's not a long distance.
So the scope, as was just mentioned there, I guess the figure's 300 to 500 feet. Yeah, that does not feel far enough. This may be another case of a security failure. I wanted to play for you, but I don't think I have the clip just yet. So, here it is. Yes. Here's a clip that I saw some outrage over. Let's play and then we'll discuss.
Yes, ma'am.
I was wondering how this was able to happen, and for future reference, is there any security in the golf course?
I didn't hear all that. Say that one more time and talk up a little bit.
So how was this able to happen, and for future reference, is there any security in the golf course?
Well, you got to understand the golf course is surrounded by shrubbery. So when somebody gets into the shrubbery, they're pretty much out of sight. All right. And at this level that he is at right now, he's not the sitting president. If he was, we would have had this entire golf course around it. But because he's not, the security is limited to the areas that the Secret Service deems possible. So I would imagine that the next time he comes to the golf course, there'll probably be a little bit more people around the perimeter. But the Secret Service did exactly what they should have done. They provided exactly what the protection should have been, and their agent did a fantastic job.
So here's the deal. I understand why that sparked outrage, given that it sets people up to say, see, they're saying they would have worked harder to protect President Biden versus former President Trump. But if you engage with it thoughtfully, I think we can all acknowledge, despite how bluntly he put that it makes sense. The sitting president, the leader of a country, is going to have more security, thus maybe more resources to surround the entire golf course if he were to be playing golf, as compared to one of multiple former presidents. But the fact that he would go on to say that, before I get to that though, so please, again, to MAGA and MAGA media, try not to throw more fuel when unnecessary on this and push ideas like, see, they want Trump to be hurt, Secret Service that is, and they would protect Biden, but they won't protect Trump. This is standard operating procedure. But if, in terms of the difference between how a president is protected versus a former president, but if he's saying in the future they may have more security around a golf course because of this, then that should have been happening since there was already an assassination attempt. There should be enhanced security, and it sounds like there already was enhanced security. Maybe not enough, a lot to be learned, as I previously said. But back to this.
The U.S. Secret Service personnel opened fire on a gunman located near the property line, and this matter is under investigation. I'll turn it over to my partners over at the FBI.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jeffrey Veltri. I'm the special agent in charge of the FBI's Miami field office. The FBI has assumed the role as the lead federal law enforcement agency in the investigation of the incident that occurred earlier today at Trump International Golf Course here in West Palm Beach, Florida. We've deployed a number of resources, including investigative teams, crisis response team members.
And then what should be expected there. And here's the very beginning.
Former President Donald Trump is now a potential second attempt on him. Can you just elaborate on how things have changed and what you make of all this?
Obviously, it's not the very beginning. Miscommunicated this clip, but here's something interesting as well.
Yes, the threat level is high. We have increased the amount of assets that we've supported, so we live in danger times. So yes.
Again, some blunt responses there, but the point it seems I keep hearing is that there's not enough resources, maybe, given how high the threat level has been. How much violence and potential violence we're constantly talking about. It seems if it's more funding so that former presidents too, and then obviously presidential candidates, Trump being both, and any of the assets he's talking about to get everything they need, maybe that's something that Congress needs to allocate. I'm not sure. But if we find out there's failures here too, there's going to be a lot of justified rage because there was every reason in the world to prevent future failures given what happened in Butler. That's what we know now. That's the update from law enforcement officials. I'll get back on if there's more that we learn.